It's 2025. If you're still using old school method of learning and note-taking, you're out. Today, we're going to learn how to be productive using my favorite note taker or note digestion tool, NotebookLM. We'll learn what NotebookLM is, what feature it has, including the latest update that just came out around video overviews, and how to leverage them like a power user does. If you stick around until the very end, I'll even leave you with my favorite ways to use NotebookLM along with a few of my go-to prompts. Let's get started. So NotebookLM is an AI tool from Google that helps you understand, organize, and transform large amounts of information. The LM in Notebook stands for language model, and it helps people learn more quickly, make better decisions, look and sound smarter in front of your bosses and peers. You can think about it like a super AI notebook. People like me use it because it gives you responses based on the sources that you provide. So the accuracy is much better than, say, ChatGPT, which sometimes hallucinates. Currently, NotebookLM is powered by Gemini 2.5 Flash, which is the latest Google AI model, and it can do things like create video and audio overviews or podcasts from the sources that you provided. It also supports 80 languages. So you can, generate these podcasts and videos in Chinese, Dutch, Portuguese, or whatever language that you speak. The best part is that it's free. Though I do have the Pro version, which is $19.99 per month. If you're super fancy, you can also get Google Ultra that is, $200 something per month, but I don't have that right now. For most people, I think the free version is plenty. It gives you 100 notebooks, 50 daily queries, 50 sources per notebook, 3 audio generations, 3 video generations. For me, what I have is 500 notebooks, 500 daily queries, 300 sources per notebook, and 20 audio generations, 20 video generations. Now let's move on to navigating NotebookLM and its features. To get started, you want to go to notebooklm.google.com and you will see this, welcome to NotebookLM page where you can hit create a new notebook. And I'm just going to close this pop-up for now. But what you should see when you go in is you can name the notebook you want. And there are 3 main sections: sources, chat, and studio. Let's go through each of them one by one. So under sources is where you can add the materials. You will see the same pop-up that showed up earlier, and you can upload things like PDF, .text, Markdown, audio file, Google Docs, Google Slides, link to a website URL, link to a YouTube video, and also copied text. So you could just paste it in. If you don't have any sources, you can also click on the Discover Sources button, which is the same button as over here, and you can describe something you want to learn about. Like, I want to learn about how to write a book. And if you don't have any idea what you want to learn about, you can click on this I'm feeling curious button, which is great for people who are into trivia. NotebookLM will automatically pick a topic and then finding sources about that topic, which then you can click import. So now we have all these sources uploaded. You will see in the middle of this chat section that a summary is quickly created. You can either save to note or copy this summary. You will also see some quick actions like adding a note, audio overview, or mind map. On the right-hand side, you have the studio panel over here where you can generate an audio overview, video overview, mind map, reports. And that includes briefing docs, study guide, FAQ, timeline, or whatnot. On the top, you'll see a share button, which then you can decide who to share the notebook with and what access they have. I believe because I'm using an organization account, it looks like this right now, but I think you can control whether people have access to chat or whatnot if you're using a personal account. And over here, you have the setting button where you can select a output language over here. You also have a mode here where you could change the mode of the light to light, dark, or device. One thing to note is that the interface is always kind of changing. They're always updating it. For example, in my personal account, you should see that over here in this sharing feature, I have certain notebook access, viewer have access to more sharing functions. And also over here, I can configure my chat. So I can decide what conversational style I want, how long my response length is. But I'm not using my personal account to show you right now because this account doesn't have that video feature yet. Now let's look at, the new features in practice. I'm gonna click on every one of them. And then under reports, right now it has a few kind. I'm gonna click on briefing doc, study guide, FAQ, and timeline. And we're gonna wait for it to generate for us. Okay, now that all the outputs have been loaded and created, we're gonna go through each of them. So the first output I wanna talk about is this video overview. Over here, you can see that a video has been generated and you can download it. And it's based on all the sources that's been created. Let's take a quick look at it.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're getting into something that's, well, both ancient and absolutely essential, fermentation. I mean, this is a technique that has shaped, well, everything. Human survival, our culture, our food, for thousands of years. And get this, it's making a huge comeback. So let's start with a really basic question. Think about it. Before you had refrigerators, freezers, canning, how did our ancestors survive? I mean, seriously, how did they keep food from spoiling through a brutal winter or a long trip? They turned it into something that was preserved, you could eat it year-round, and get this, a lot of the time,
Oh
it
my
was actually
gosh,
safer.
it's pretty
And
good.
look, this isn't just some dusty old history lesson. For so many communities, fermentation was and still is a critical tool for survival. I mean, this quote from the FAO says it all. A bit, and it becomes this iconic thing for
It
prospectors
even
in
has a
California and
timeline.
Fondue. That's the science of fermentation, and its pioneer, the one and only Louis Pasteur. Back in 1856, they're basically upgrading our food, making it safer, sugars, and spit out lactic acid, which gives you those. He says it's a way of life, safely and efficiently. It's the perfect example of upgrading. Plus, you have the K-wave making kimchi globally cool, and even people like Michelle Obama tweeting out their kimchi recipes.
Wow, this video is really good, actually. I like it. It has timeline, it has images, it has icons, and it uses some images from the sources that we uploaded. This is really a slide-based feature, I would say. So basically, it's generating some slides, some visuals, some images, putting it onto those slides, and then tacking on that audio feature along with it. Honestly, I think YouTube videos, I can see a surge of them because a lot of people can easily create these knowledge videos nowadays. And again, too, you can customize how you want this video to be by going into video overview and customizing, and then talking about how you want it targeted, how you want the structure to be, so you can tweak it. Next, let's go over the audio version, the audio overview. There's an interactive button here and a play button, and also over here you can download, share, rename, or whatnot. Let's take a listen and see what it says.
And pull up the best bits for you. Today, we're starting somewhere familiar. Maybe your kitchen, but we're going to travel way back, thousands of years, actually.
Yeah, we're diving into the incredible world of fermented foods. It's often kind of invisible, right?
Oh, the audio version is pretty good. You can click on this three-dot button to change the playback speed like I have. And I'm going to click on this interactive button and you will see that you can join the discussion. Let's try it.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show where we dig into some... Oh, our listeners got something to share. Let's hear it.
I love kimchi.
That is fantastic to hear. You are in good company. Kimchi is truly something special.
Oh, absolutely. It's more than just a food, isn't it? It's like a whole experience.
What's fascinating here is that your love. Hey, yeah, what's up?
I want to know how you can make kimchi though. Does it talk about how you make kimchi?
That's a great question. And yes, it absolutely does.
We can definitely unpack the basics of how kimchi is made for you.
What's fascinating here is that the principle of kimchi production really relies on fermentation.
Right.
See how it's kind of interactive because you can kind of join the podcast by, asking a question or talking about some random thing over here. So that's pretty cool to me. That's the audio overview. And the next thing we have is study guide. Study guide is basically designed to help you master the content that you uploaded. It gives you key concepts, definitions, and it's very student friendly, right? So it breaks down, okay, what is this? What are the key things that you should know about? What are any key terms or in the history? So it helps you learn about a topic. A timeline. A timeline breaks down your content into key events with timing. So it looks like this. It looks pretty good to me. A detailed timeline. It helps you understand the history and their impact. And then here is a mind map. So with mind map, you can click on each of the items and it will expand, and you can click on each of the items further to learn about each of these items. I'm going to click on all of them. I wish there's a button that I can click and just auto expand, but I'm sure they'll add it in the future. Anyways, you get the idea. And what you could do is you can download it and you'll see it looking like this. So you can zoom in. It will give you a PNG if you want to download it and play around with it yourself. But some people learn from mind maps. So That's another output that you can easily generate. The next is a briefing doc. A briefing doc is basically an executive summary, right? It summarizes all the sources in your content and give it to you in a digestible format that helps you understand all the different content in a structured way. Lastly, there's the FAQ, frequently asked questions. It gives you the key questions along with answers to them. So questions that you might have from reading these materials and people who are learning about this topic, what kind of questions they have. So those are the main things that you can create. So let's say you want an outline of fermented food and how to make it, keep it under one page, and they created it. What you're going to see, obviously, is some annotations over here. You can even point to exactly where they got this, where they're finding the sourcing from. So this is why the chat functions is really good to use beyond, all these like studio features or whatnot. And one key tip is that you have to click save to note, because this is not like ChatGPT where you will have all your conversation history. No, it disappears after you closes it. So if you like a response, make sure to click save to note and create a note out of it. And if you want, you can also convert it to a source. So then it goes into this side, and in the future, you can reference data from here. You can also just create your own note. So let's just say how I feel about kimchi. And you can say, I love kimchi. And then you can convert it to a source. So then in the future, you can also include that when it comes to a response from you. But I think this will be really useful for writing down your own thoughts, your own perspective about it, and then getting AI to combine your thoughts along with all the sources to come up with a masterpiece. That's kind of all the key features there are. Again, the big tip is to make sure you save to note, and using all these features, it's basically taking into account all the different ways that people learn. Some are visual learners, some like to look at timelines, some like to do this and do that. And they're giving you all of these different ways to understand a topic in a very deep sense. I love it. And it's also very interactive. You could, interactively chat with the host on an audio podcast. So this is super cool. Next, let's go through my favorite ways to use NotebookLM. My favorite ways to use NotebookLM, let's create a new notebook, is actually summarizing YouTube videos. For example, there was a video I saw the other day that was really interesting, but it was 4 hours long. So I can paste it in here. It's about script writing, by the way. And so I can paste it into here. I can create a study guide or whatnot. But more than this one click thing, I actually just like to ask it directly to make me an outline. Come up with an outline with key points, simple and easy to understand. Keep it under a certain page. And this is what it gives me. And I kind of like it because then it gives me a quick outline. Although I don't like the format of this. So sometimes what I do is I just copy this and paste it into ChatGPT and ask it to reformat it for me into a Google Doc format. Because while this is great, it's really long still and hard for me to read. And I forgot to add that if you have videos in other languages, you can actually upload it into NotebookLM for it to generate a summary or translate the transcription for you. NotebookLM does all that. I mean, I honestly don't know why anyone is still paying for YouTube summarizing services when NotebookLM does it for free. And for me, for example, I'm using like The Courage to Be Disliked is one of my favorite books, and it's written by a Japanese author. So I was curious how Japanese people think about it, what they say about it, and you can literally upload this video link and get their summary from their perspective. So super cool. So that's the first way. The second way is that I use it to prepare for meetings. So I would upload previous notes and emails, and the prompt that I use is, what are the 3 most important discussion points I should raise, and what questions should I be prepared to answer? What are 3 key action items I should get the other parties to commit to? You can also throw in the website to the other person you're chatting with, their profile, whatnot. I just use it for meeting preparation. So that helps me keep things organized. Lastly, I also do use it for personal growth. Basically, you can upload some journal entries, some thoughts, and a lot of times I use audio, which I've taught you before how to make your own voice journaling app. And basically, I just use that app to record my voice that translates into a transcript that I can then paste into NotebookLM. And with that, I will ask it to review my blind spots. How can I think about that differently? What are things that I can learn about myself and how I like to act, what environments I thrive in. So all of those is kind of the 3 main ways that I really like NotebookLM for. But I think it's really cool to try out that slide video format. I can't imagine in a few months what other updates they will make to the video feature. So this is super exciting for me. Well, that's it for today. I'd love it if you can share what your favorite prompts are in using NotebookLM, how you like to use NotebookLM. And thanks so much for watching. See you again next time. Bye.